Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 craziest tour stories in rock music history.
I was very lucky, really. I expect they could have put me in prison.
Oh, you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide, James.
Oh, Mommy.
That's the craziest story I've heard in a while.
For this list, we'll be ranking memorable alleged instances of bad behavior from rock bands while they're on the road. They say what happens on the tour bus stays on the tour bus, but these stories were just too infamous not to get out. When you think of bad behavior, who's the first musician that comes to mind? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Billy Idol's Thai Misadventure. Hotel rooms and rock stars seem to be intrinsically linked when it comes to tales of debauchery. As such, you can expect to be spending a fair amount of time in hotel rooms as we go through this list. Starting things off in style is 80s icon Billy Idol. The former Generation X frontman and Rebel Yell singer indulged in both flesh and fantasy during an epic 3-week Bangkok bender. He allegedly racked up a hotel damage bill to the tune of nearly $150,000. So insistent was Idol when it came to having a good time that Thai military personnel reportedly needed to tranquilize Billy and remove him forcibly from the hotel premises on a stretcher.
I was very lucky, really. I expect they could have put me in prison.
Number 9. Led Zepp and the TV Sets. There's no getting around Led Zeppelin's ridiculous reputation for the rock and roll lifestyle. From guitarist Jimmy Page's controversial affair with groupie Lori Maddox, to the very not safe for this list Mudshark incident, the band was, for a time, hedonism personified. The particular incident making this spot, though, involved the band's return to the Edgewater Hotel in Seattle, from where they'd been previously banned. They somehow booked 5 rooms while on a US tour and decided to do something a bit different with the Edgewater's famous fish from your hotel window selling point. They decided to chuck every single TV they could find into the Puget Sound, just for kicks. Because that's what rock bands are just supposed to do, right?
Yeah, let's say they've been banned for a couple of reasons. In fact, I believe they've been banned twice, but we still have some of them come back as regulars.
Number 8. The Demon Scrapbook. Have you ever kept some personal reminder of a prior relationship that ended prematurely? How about a scrapbook containing every illicit encounter in your life? That's exactly what Kiss bassist Gene Simmons did during the band's 1970s and 80s heyday. Documenting.
You can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide, James.
Oh, Mommy.
The Demon is said to have kept Polaroid pictures from nearly 5,000 reported groupie sessions over the years. That is, until Gene's wife Shannon Tweed reportedly asked for them to finally be burned.
Oh, you're
You need to
killing
be
me.
quiet.
Why don't I just kill my
So-
career right now?
Last time.
According to The Sun in 2016, he and Tweed got together and had a ritual with the burned pics, kissing them off for good. Number 7. Marilyn Manson foots the bill. Have you ever had an accident in a hotel and had to pay a fine for something you broke? We're guessing it was something like $100 or so.
God damn. Look at this place. Whew. I know. Phil, they have my credit card downstairs. I'm so screwed.
Now imagine what kind of mess one would have to make to be charged a whopping $25 grand. Shock rocker Marilyn Manson and his bandmates supposedly did some serious damage in 1998 when they went on a multi-stop rampage. First, they trashed the dressing rooms at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center in Poughkeepsie, where they were playing, prompting the fire department to be called. Later, they moved the destruction to their hotel suites at the Sheraton, setting fires and staining their bathrooms with hair dye. Manson eventually did offer to pay for the damage, however, so there's that. Number 6. All in the Family with Avenged Sevenfold. If you've ever wondered why parents and touring rock stars shouldn't mix, here's a pretty compelling argument. Avenged Sevenfold were riding high in 2005 while promoting their breakthrough City of Evil LP on the Warped Tour. The band's guitarist, Sinister Gates, told Loudwire a story in 2018 about this particular tour and how his dad decided to come along for the ride. Since Pop began fraternizing with the band's bassist Johnny Christ and couldn't for the life of him figure out why the rest of the group always made Johnny the butt of their jokes. Well, Daddy Gates found out firsthand, because Johnny Christ gets drunk and pees where he shouldn't, specifically on the shoes and face of his new friends. Gross.
That's the craziest story I've heard in a while.
So now he's on our side.
He's no longer
But
his
shit
number
like
one
that.
fan.
That's right.
Number 5. Moon the Loon. The Who drummer Keith Moon didn't earn the moniker of Moon the Loon for nothing. This talented skinsman was an absolute wild card, with a resume of offenses that perhaps earns him a top 10 list of his own. For starters, Moon's penchant for hotel craziness reportedly got the Who banned from every Holiday Inn. Maybe it was that time he allegedly drove a Rolls Royce into the pool.
That became a bit like televisions out the window. That became a sort of very much part of drumming law.
Furthermore, Moon infamously passed out during a California stop on the Quadrophenia tour after imbibing an unwise mixture of horse tranquilizers and brandy. The Who actually ended the night with an impromptu guest on drums, Scott Halpin, a fan from the crowd who was invited on stage to finish the set. Number 4. ZZ Top loses a buffalo. Picture this. An epic, crisscrossing American tour for blues rockers ZZ Top with a mission of bringing Texas to the masses. Sounds like a good old time, right? Maybe, but it also has the makings of a perfect storm, a whole lot of chaos, and one lost buffalo. You see, the Top were determined to make the worldwide Texas tour as authentic as possible, to the point where live animals were transported from venue to venue. Buzzards, dogs, rattlesnakes, the works. It was the sort of hot mess that could have only taken place during the 1970s, and sure enough, at a stadium show in Pennsylvania, their buffalo apparently got loose and damaged the field where the Pittsburgh Pirates play. Number 3. Led Zeppelin and their fans enjoying ancient Greek tragedy. Led Zeppelin's here again, this time with a little class? Well, maybe you could describe it that way, if mixing Sophocles with physical intimacy is what you'd call having a good time. We're not sure if Jimmy Page was just being cheeky or if there's any truth behind this tale, but given Led Zepp's ridiculous reputation, we're not putting it past them for a minute. A 2015 post from BuzzFeed featured a quote from Page documenting the time when, surrounded by groupies, the band decided to instigate an off-the-cuff reading from Sophocles' Greek tragedy Antigone. You know, as one does. According to Page, quote, "For a bunch of half-naked amateurs, we knocked it out of the park." Number 2. No brown M&Ms for Van Halen. Next up is a double dose of Van Halen. We were tempted to include David Lee Roth's reported game with crew members. Apparently he gave $100 to whoever brought him the groupie he spent the night with. Instead, we're going with something even more infamous, the brown M&Ms.
My shell is brown. It just looks like my milk chocolate is showing. Only a fool would think I'd actually show up naked.
The band specified on their rider that absolutely no brown iterations of these candies were to appear backstage. But this wasn't just an example of a band behaving badly. This was there to make sure each promoter read the rider carefully, because Van Halen's equipment was heavy and could cause injury or destruction if not properly secured.
If I came backstage, having been one of the architects of this lighting and staging design, and I saw brown M&Ms on the catering table, then guaranteed the promoter had not read the contract rider, and we had to do a serious line check.
Unfortunately, this actually happened at a tour stop in Colorado, with a stage collapse reportedly resulting in over $80,000 in damage.
Want more Mojo? Sound Mojo brings you music from new and emerging artists in all genres from across the globe. From interviews to live shows and deep dives into music culture, Sound Mojo has you covered. Be sure to check out Sound Mojo to find your new favorite artists.
Number 1. Where's Ozzy?
Good evening, Ozzy.
What?
Good evening, Ozzy.
Hello there.
Hey, are you looking for a crazy Ozzy Osbourne story? Take your pick. There was that time where he supposedly snorted a line of ants while on tour with Motley Crue, though ex-Osbourne guitarist Jake E. Lee claims it was only one spider and not ants. Or that infamous time he relieved himself on the Alamo, or rather on a monument across from the building.
We would be failing coming to Texas and not doing this.
Yeah, but I'm Ozzy Osbourne. I'm urinated.
No, honestly, what do you think's the worst that could happen?
Get shot.
Of course, there's the infamous bat-biting incident, but perhaps less well-known is the time Ozzy missed a gig with Black Sabbath while on tour in 1978. Well, it turns out that Oz actually missed a couple of days, never even making it into his booked room at the hotel. The singer ended up passing out in a room that wasn't his, sleeping for over 24 hours before waking up and asking when they were leaving for the gig. Better luck next time, Ozzy. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.